Hello and welcome, Angela Meiritz-Reid here, Stampin Up demonstrator based in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be making this card, which is for the Global Design Project, and we're casing one of Janika's gorgeous creations. All the products I've used are available at my online store and are listed in the description box below. I've also created a PDF tutorial, and that's available via my blog, and a link to my blog is also in the description box. So what I've done, because I wanted to blend on the shimmery white cardstock, I've also created a card base with the shimmery white, just because it's got quite a, although it says white, it's quite a creamy colour, so I think it just looked better with that colour because that's right on top of it. I'm just going to fold that in half and burnish along there. And I'll just set that aside because I don't need those two pieces for the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the watercolouring now so that it can dry. And I've given you the measurement for one big piece of shimmery white cardstock, but what you'll need to do is cut it down so that you can just watercolour each piece individually. And what I do is I just put a bit of tape on here and then just stick it on there, and it just stops it from buckling when you add the water. So I'm just going to do that for each piece of the cardstock. I'm just keeping my little butterflies with each colour so I know the order I've done it all in. And lastly, this one here, grey smoky slate. So I'll bring in a water painter and just bring in my chamois just so I can clean my brush, just make sure it's nice and clean. Actually that one's a little bit low on water. Just check that that's, yes, good to go. So start with this big butterfly first, and this is going to be in Coastal Cabana. Add some water to the background and then add some colour on top. Just add as much as you like, depending on what sort of depth of colour you want. And it doesn't need to be all even unless you particularly want it, because it's quite a lot of cutting out. It won't matter. We'll just add a bit of interest if you want a sort of variegated look. Oh, that's they're all running out today. That was good cleaning, wasn't it? Try another one. This looks full. That's better. Squeeze it. I want to squeeze that. Yeah. Squeeze some water out, get some water going on that. And add some darker splodges to the background. Right, so that's that one. Just give that a little bit of a clean on there. I just don't want to get the other colours onto my, so it changes the colour. Sure that's. So I'll do the green next. Let's keep those together. So this is green. I just want to get these coloured so it'll have a bit of time to dry while I'm doing the other elements on the card. That's that one there done. And just clean that off again too. I've got some more, so I might as well just swap the brushes over. That saves cleaning them in between times. So that was, I might try, that's coming through well, so I'll just use that one. This one is Flirty Flamingo. Down on here. And then lastly, the Smoky Slate. So you could use your ink refill if you've got the ink refill for the colours instead of using the ink pad. Right, so they're all done. So you could dry them with your heat tool or just set them aside to dry. So I'll leave them aside to dry for now and see how we go. So then I'm going to bring that back in, and what I want to do is do this background here, and I've got my blending brush and I've got Tahitian Tide. And what I like to do is take it off here and just pop it on here, just so I don't waste any, but I can just make sure it's nicely, it's not going to hopefully be blobby when I pop it onto here. Then I just want to get colour down. Just want to sort of keep it towards, away from the edges really. Just pick a bit more up from there. I do think it helps to just turn it around as you go, because you do tend to start from the same place. So it just gives a, hopefully gets your colour sort of spread more evenly. Just take it out a wee bit. Turn around here and fill up those middle bits. And take it out. Just and it does develop over time too. You better leave it for a bit. So I just want to get a bit more colour. Just draw that out a little bit. Doesn't have to be too even, because the butterflies will sort of disguise a little bit of that. So I think that's okay. Then I just want to bring in my water painter again. Just make sure that is clean. And then I just want to flick a little bit onto the background just to get some, so it will take a bit of the colour out, give a few watermarks on there. That develops quite quickly. You can see where it's taking the colour out. So I'll set that aside to dry. And then the next thing I do is do the sentiment, and I have this little container. It's just got a few little bits and pieces. If I do an extra one, I pop them in here. So I have got this congratulations the same, so I'm just going to trim that down, but otherwise it's just white embossed onto black cardstock. Saves a little bit of time if you do a couple, 2 or 3 at a time. That, and then I've got some basic white baker's twine just to make a bow. Can't live without baker's twine. I use it a lot. It's not very even, but that will be okay. That tail's probably a little bit long on that one anyway. Just get that to tighten up. You can adjust that once it's on there. So set those aside. So now it's a matter of die cutting these. They still are a little damp, so just bear with me a moment. Just give them a little bit of a zhuzh with my heat tool. Zap, so it won't be set. And then just to get them off the tape, just give them a twist. They will actually have softened too because of the heat on them. Just take those all off. And then I'm just going to bring in a little mini machine. And at the moment you can get these in blue if you sign up as a demonstrator. There's an option to get a boho blue one, which is super cute colour. Or you can get the plain white if blue isn't your colour. So it's a great offer if anyone that lives in New Zealand is interested in signing up. I'd love to have you on my team. I've got a great team of demonstrators. We always have lots of fun, which is good. And everyone's nice and supportive. So I'll just set that one aside for a minute. So we'll just go ahead and do all of them. Actually, I could do more than one at a time, so I may as well. I'll leave those two till last, and I've just lost my other one. Always the way, isn't it? Find it in a minute. So I'll just do these two because they can go through twice. The other one, where it doesn't need to go, where it's not got intricate pieces, I tend not to run it through more than once because it can jump. So just try and find under my, oh here it is, not too far away. Let's put that one on there, that one on there. So as I say, those only need to go through once because they don't have all that intricate detail. So then take your pick tool, is perfect for these projects. Those two there. Take that off there, just poke that through the little hole that's there to help get it out. It's not 100% dry, so it is a little bit soft, so you need to be a little bit careful pulling them out. Right, so now we've got all our pieces. So you could use the take your pick tool like that, or there is the brush end. You could put it on a bit of foam. I've got the foam thing behind me, but otherwise I just do it on my hands. And sometimes I don't worry about all the pieces, just depends how I'm feeling, what look I'm going for. Sometimes they come out as you're working with them. Oops. Right, that's one of those ones. And lastly, this little grey one. If you wanted a bit more variegation in it, if you weren't happy, you could add a little bit of colour after it's dried. As I say, it just depends what sort of look you're going for. Right, next what we want to do is pop that onto the card base, and turn it around that way. So I just want to pop dimensionals on the back of that. So we need a few of those just to give it good coverage and make sure it doesn't sag anywhere. So I usually find that number works reasonably well. And then just pop that on there. So if you're in inches, you could just your basic card size, and then your layering panel just slightly smaller. And then of course the butterflies are all the same, so it's good. So we'll just turn all these over, and I just want to add a little dimension to the back of each of those, and they don't need much because I like them not to be totally stuck down excuse me, and just have a bit of movement. So the little mini dimensionals work really well. So just one on that, hopefully one will fit on the back of there, and then this one here, I think one, no, it might be a bit tight, so just a half. I'm going to put a couple of halves just down there, body of the butterfly, and the same with this one. Might be able to just pop two on there. Can't see too much. And then the same with this one here. Tuck those in down there. So now, excuse me, a matter of just popping those on, getting where you want them to go. So that one sort of up a bit straight, and then this one going this way. If you wanted, you could have done the splattering afterwards. This one, I'm going to cover a little bit of that splattering. I got a bit carried away in the middle there. The green apple green one up here in the corner. And lastly, the little yellow one there. So now it's a matter of just popping on the bow. Just make sure I've got both those loops the same I have, and I'll just trim that down a little bit. And I just want a glue dot. So you'll work out where you want your granulations to be, and I sort of want that bow to be in the middle of that. Just going to pop that onto there. And then I want that to sit across there. So I'm going to add some more of those mini dimensionals. I'm just going to pop them at each end, or near the end, so be about there, should be about right. Just we want to cover so you avoid where that knot is. Just going to go straight up from there. And straight, hopefully, and just they can just sort of flail off whichever way they go, because they do have a law unto themselves sometimes, those pieces. And then lastly, I just want to pop on some rhinestones, and I need the other end of my take your pick tool, which is the putty end, so it's great for just scooting these along. I've got a medium size one here, little tiny ones. Just get those dotted around there. And that is the card created. So it doesn't take too long, and you could also, to save time, you know, colour bigger pieces of cardstock, you know, shimmery white, and just leave it in your folder, and then when you want to do some more, you've got them already there to go. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.